Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the Tangle ripples from Helen Williams. So this is a neat one. It's a grid pattern, but it really has a neat look to it. And if you treat it a bit, I think you could treat it like a reticula, yeah. And you might end up with some interesting shapes. So I'm going to, or meta patterns, I should say. I'm going to make a little border here. And oddly, this is one of those that I looked at. I'm like, oh yeah, I see what that shape is. Oh, okay, yeah. And then I do it. I'm like, something is this. Okay, I need to look again. So I'm glad I did. And then I can bring that to you. All right. So I'm just going to do a four square. All right. Starts off, once you have your grid done, with a big S type shape, but don't go real crazy with it. So it's just barely an S shape, like that. It's almost like a diagonal, but with a little flare, a little S flare. Although, I should go. I'm gonna go back in my playing around because I was like, oh, I'll make a nice S, and then I'm like, no, I don't think that's gonna work. But after I figured out something that I'll show you in a minute, well, maybe it will. Um, Probably will. Okay, so when I was looking at this, the next step, this would be Helen's step three. No, it's my step three too. When I was looking at it, I'm like, well, that looks like the Tangle anti-dots. If you remember, well, I'll just draw it on the back here. Anti-dots, uh, it can fit into any corner or whatever, but it's just, you make a shape like this, and then you kind of go back on it, and then you go back on it again. You can kind of make them narrow or not. And I'm like, oh, that's what it looks like. So that's what I tried to do. And I'm like, why is this not working the way I think it should? So here's, as after closer look, here's what it is. We're not doing that. we're, we're really just making C-shaped curve lines in here. So I'm starting, and I'm just doing the one side. This would be the, I guess the right side. It doesn't matter which side you start on, really. Um, so I'm just doing like this, a curve like line like that to start. Then come out a little ways, do it again, and then come out a ways and do it again. Now this, I think I'm gonna just or hollow bow, as if I'm going behind this. Okay. Now, if you can get it, I'm gonna put it at a bit different angle here. Yeah, like this. So like this one, do it this way. This one, the C shape is kind of pointing this way, and then this one, I feel like it's pointing up a little bit. It's very minuscule, and it's probably more of like this shape of the line, because then here I could come here and bring it, and then I have room here to have more of a full curve line, if that makes any sense. And if it doesn't, just go, yeah, okay. Just do. It's okay. Sometimes the things I say don't make sense. Sometimes they make sense to some people and not to others. And that's why I say things. That's why I yap all the way through. Because I never know what might catch. Because everybody's different. Everybody thinks different. Everybody hears different. And I know this from years of teaching private lessons. It's so fun. All right, let me get this line here. So, doing that on one side. Oh, look at that. Little check marks. Well, we'll fix that with decorating. Now, stopping right here for a minute. That looks kind of cool just the way it is, right? All right, but we're going to do the other side. And I want to go back to this just really quick because I just want to sit and look, because I know that there are some that just have a challenge with grids, and let's just recap. So we just did curve lines kind of spread up through this side. Okay, that's really all that we did. We're going to flip it and do the same thing with a little caveat though. And this was another thing that I'm like, one, I was like, I don't know how many tries, that I was making. I'm like, oh, when I go back and myself thinking, okay, how about just slow down and just take a real good look at the step out as you're doing it instead of making assumptions. I don't know. That's the fun part of doing things, I suppose. All right, so it's trial and error. And you never know the error. That's why there's no such thing as a mistake in Zentangle, because the error might create something amazing. All right, so here's the caveat. The curve lines, these we didn't have anything to go by, so we just did them. Now we have something we can attach to. So that the first one here, continue this line right here. And you don't have to, if it lines up with something down below, great. If not, don't worry about it. Okay, but still think, okay, I'm doing this curve line, and see it nicely matched up with that. But like I said, don't worry about that. It's more, continue this line over here. Continue this line into a curve line. Continue this one, same idea. It kind of makes it a little bit easier to do because it's like, well, it's already there, and you're just going with it. Like that. And then just depending on how you did them, like I said, and you just continue that along, and so and you might, I'm just trying to think, you might have, modify isn't the right word, but it's just like this one, it kind of ends up this way, but it's okay because it's like I'm going to end it here and then just make the curve. It's just a really, really neat, and I've done that again where I did this little check mark on the bottom. Ah, just lift the pen up straight, Heather. That is all there is to it. And how cool is that? So what's neat about this is, oh, there's many things. Well, and you, like I had mentioned, you could use this as a reticula, or not a reticula, as a fragment. Sorry. And as I'm looking at it, so like you could do, it would just be these initial S shapes. You would do that initial S shape because you have it going this way. Actually, top and bottom would be the same. You could have it go the diagonal the other way. That, I think that would be there really would be two ways to do this. And then doing the grid, you could flip those up so you could alternate them and have a lot of fun. I will leave that to you to play with. But I think what I'm going to do, it's on my version of the step out. Actually, Helen's step out. She has at the bottom, underneath the step out part, she has some fill in ideas, and I think that they're fantastic. And I was just thinking, well, let me just pick one to do here, and well, why don't I? Since I already said I need to course correct, and it also gives me an opportunity to talk about course corrections. Let's see. So course correction, when you have something that like this, where I was making like weird check marks, who knows why? It's just called not picking up the pen or stopping the pen right. But if you have something that you don't like, I always look at that first. And then like, okay, then what can I do with this? Well, I'm going to fill in solid. So this here would be the top, but I'm going to continue it past this line. No, but wait. No, I have a better idea. Because you can see that in the step outs. This just popped into my head. I love it when things just pop into my head. Let's oh my mom, if you're watching this, don't look. It's like Knightsbridge. She doesn't like Knightsbridge. It's just because there's a lot of filling in. And sometimes when something like that, it just sticks with you. And actually, I was just gonna do those two. I'm gonna do all of it. Just because. I don't mind Knightsbridge. I have a whole hour video. I think it was one of the first videos that I had done when I was before I decided to just record the sessions that I do. And well, I guess I'm gonna leave that until the end. Okay. And then so if I did that there, then fill. Oh, maybe if I do the same thing, because then that will, I don't know. It's not going to really matter, is it? Nope, it's not. But so while I'm doing this over here, why don't I'll do the opposite over here. Okay. Yeah, so I have, if you're interested in the Knightsbridge, because it's just a checker pattern. But there's always many ways you can do it. So yeah, so I think it was one of the first online classes that I did, and like I said, I don't know why I thought, well, I'll just I'll replicate the class, just like I'm doing right now, just me and my invisible friends that really are real. I know that you're watching because you leave comments every so often, and I reply to them, so that way we know we're all here. But that's what I had done, and I did basically Knightsbridge 4 ways, and it was fun. But then I got wise and said that's taking up a lot of time. So that's kind of neat. And then yeah, and I'm still stuck deciding which way am I going to go with this. I like this idea. Okay, I'm going to flip it. No, I'm doing it the same way. That's what I was doing. There's some other ones like this. I'm thinking of the Tangle Moving Day, and I don't know if I think I might have done that one. That just, it really has a neat optical illusion kind of feel to it, because it's like this where you're filling in, but you're shifting. And I think I'm going to come back and clean this up because I can see using the fatter nib. Sometimes like the little edges get a little out of hand. But it's fun. And what's nice is if you just didn't like something, and as long as you can expand your section out with the fill-in, that's the beauty of the fill-in course corrector, because it just works really well. So that's where I end up going if it's something that if I've done something that I didn't care for, it's like, well, what's going to work? And sometimes this just does it. All right, while I'm finishing this, let me tell you about the description. The description, yeah. What did I forgot what they've called it. The description section, yes, where you will find more information on everything. So I have links to the step outs. I have linked to Helen's, as well as I do my own version. So you will find that there. Below that, ways to connect with me. So if you enjoy my goofy style, you can come and have more fun with me and a bunch of other crazy tanglers, and join us for I do classes twice a week. A lot of them are free. I do have some that are paid, so that way I can keep myself in pens and stuff. But do check them out. They're on my website. You can follow my blog there. On my blog, I will have to get better at posting classes on the blog itself. But because I do have a page, it's just that it doesn't send you any notice. Oh, let me just touch this up. But there are other ways to follow me until I get better at remembering to also put it on my blog. But you'll get recaps. So when we do a class, when I have because I record them and I send them out, this will be a daily tangle. So you will get notice of this with everything attached. You don't have to find the description section. It'll all the links will be there. And other fun things. I try not to send too much. Well, you get at least one a day. Sometimes more. And notice what I'm doing here. I'm just tracing over the edge. See how, like here, this is a little messy. So if I just trace over the edge, voila, it fixes it. Oops, I got that little edge right there. and because that fat tip just won't get into the little crevices, so that's why I at least I try to avoid them with the big tip pen, but then come back with a little one to clean up as well as get into whatever little crevices I need to. So also on that in that description section, you will find, if you happen to be on Facebook, I have a link to my page. That is, if you're like I said, if you happen to be on there, that I do post my classes and things on there. So if you're interested in that, follow my page because I post them there first. And then we also have a beautiful group of people in the Tangle Addicts community page. It's a private group, and we have a lot of fun. So if you, like I said, if you happen to be on there and want to join us, come and join us. All right, I'm gonna be a little extra crazy. I've actually turned this into striping, is apparently what I've done. That is another tangle, but I was just feeling like it needs to have some shading too. And this is one of those you don't have to. You don't have to with any of them. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do with Zentangle. That's what's nice about it. I went a little bit nuts here. Let's just see what I did. I just want to bring it in. Yeah, because see, they started looking like cones to me. Almost like like black and white candy corns. So I wanted to just emphasize that shape I was seeing, and I kind of am. Good. It's always difficult when you have a lot of fill in. I kind of recommend, wait a little bit. Not when well, it's not pulling up the paper. That's what usually happens, is that it'll start pulling up the paper. All right. Whoever was yelling at me to finish this, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I'm sure that there was somebody. All right, let's put some up here for now. We'll get this and we'll get down there in a second. Neat. Just smoothing out a little bit more. Some of these tiles, you can see there's like a gritty grain, and I know it has to do with their production, but to me it ends up looking a little splotchy or something. So a little bit more with the tortillon, that will help. But you know what? I'm going to try something else too here. Oh, yeah. Oh, I have other things I can try too. This is a colorless blender, normally used for colored pencils. But see how that's darkening it? I just needed a little something without adding more graphite, because we don't want the graphite remorse. No, no. Oh my goodness. And then, but I'm not going to. You could, with the white charcoal, come out with a line, but I just like it like that. It looks, gosh, that really made these kind of pop out. It makes it all look puffy. Mm. Oh, how much fun. It's just magic, that shading is. Just magic. Oh, so neat. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this. I think I filled everything in, but I don't remember if I said to please click like. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Feel free to leave comments, share it, all of that stuff. I appreciate any and all of those activities, as it helps to promote the channel to other people that might be interested. And so I appreciate that. I mentioned all of the description section stuff. So, hey, I hope you join us sometime live because it's a lot of fun. But if not, I hope you enjoy the videos. So with that, thanks again so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.